cold, lonely, trapped in your head, alone in a room full of people. Isolation. Hi, as you know, my name is Gio, and my goal for the future is to make sure that no one is isolated in their own communities. Think of your very own neighborhood. When was the last time you said hi to a neighbor, or had a conversation, or sometime a stranger smiled at you? Isolation and lack of trust is such a big and growing problem in today's. It just gets overlooked due to other problems that people are more aware of. I'm sure most of you have heard the impacts of racism, war, equality, all of that, right? And while those problems are so important, how many solutions have you thought of that actually stops it? Why do you think World War II happened? So, what do? We start with a problem we can fix: isolation. If you went and interviewed 100 people on the street right now, asking the question, what is racism? How many people do you think would know what that is? You think majority of the population, right? But what if you switch that around to isolation? Ask what that means and what it does to your mental and physical health. 20, 30 people would know? Did you know that's not even half of the percentage yet? Now expand that number to the whole population. That sounds like a problem now, doesn't it? 80% of the population not knowing the dangers of being isolated from people. Isolation in communities means when a person or even a group is separated or cut off from the rest of society. Do you know what the scary part is? People don't even realize when they're isolated. Cultural isolation is when a family's tradition and language separates them from the rest of society. Has anyone ever had a culture day at school before? You might have to think way back. Have you ever been part of a small group of people that share the same culture as you and you feel alone, like an outsider, even when everyone's right there? Or if there's been any form of talent show or place that expresses your interests, like sport, music, art, drama, and you've been the only one that likes a certain thing, you've had to pretend to be someone you're not. Even online or in school, people always see things that they want to see, that they want to be. But for some people, they can't fit. That's isolation too, you know? Did you know that globally, 1 in 56 people are affected by loneliness? That doesn't sound like a lot, but that's 1.3 billion people who are getting depressed or anxiety from loneliness. That's not just a number. These are real people with real lives. They are what you would be if you didn't come here and listen to my speech. Some people use it as an excuse to build stronger bonds with friends or find your personality. This is social media. But that's not true. I realized that social media wasn't benefiting me or my friendships. If anything, it made my social skills go down. It made me rely on sending TikToks to my friend as the only source of conversations we could have. And at school, I didn't know what to say half the time. Without the internet, though, I pretty much got forced to discover my own creativity, since I had to talk to my friends about things deeper than Labubus or Kim Kardashian. People have two identities. They're online and in person. Your online identity is the good and confident side of you that you choose to be, and your in-person is the full, real you that you sometimes don't want to be. The people that rely on their online identity is growing so much more each day. Did you know that loneliness increases the risk of heart disease by 29%? But isolation doesn't just affect your mental health, it also makes your trust in others around you extremely low. For example, what would you do if you were walking past this guy and he was waving at you? Most of you would probably speed up and be thinking, who is this guy? Is he going to kidnap me or something? Well, how do you know that's not just your neighbor, Billy, who's just sick and cold? And what if he only has black clothing? What if he was just being a nice neighbor and when you didn't wave back, he was wondering what he did wrong? But relating to that, isolation isn't just dangerous to your mental health. It could harm you too. In normal neighborhoods, people check up on each other. If your best friend lived next to you and you haven't seen them come out of your house in a while, you would go check, right? To see if Billy hasn't kidnapped them? But picture yourself living alone in a neighborhood where no one knows each other and it's the middle of the night and there's a stranger in your house. One that's not like Billy, a dangerous one. You couldn't get help if you tried, because no one recognizes your voice, no one has your number, and you're completely stranded. But don't worry, lucky for you, I'm about to give solutions so that doesn't happen. So how does that all start? How do you take the initiative of wanting a better neighborhood and community? A home that's not just in one house, wanting neighbors and not just people in houses next to you, and making it real. It all starts in your brain. You might think of this type of issue and a solution, and you might even have really good ideas, but it all goes to waste the minute you forget it. If you talk about it weekly or even brainstorm it on paper, your body, muscles, memory kicks in and from you writing it down and solves at max speed. But let's be real, writing things down one day and calling a day isn't going to do the job. After you talk about it, like I am, the next step is to go for it. This is a problem that doesn't take a fancy counselor or mirror to step in. It just takes you, your legs, and your voice. All you have to do is get up and get off your screen. Go for a walk and practice the super simple task of saying hi to your neighbours. If I did it, I'm sure you can. There are so many ways to get your neighbours together and know each other. Hosting block parties at someone's house and celebrating World Neighbours Day, which happens on the 29th of May. People have so many excuses not to get out of bed, not to go to work, procrastinate. But why don't we change that? Make excuses to invite someone to your house. Take whatever chance you get to group people together and strengthen trust. As Tiana said before, the world is like a bomb. You do nothing and isolation explodes and travels to every neighborhood. Or you could stop the bomb and make some friends in the process. Can you say it with me? When I point to myself and I say tick tick, and then I point to you and you guys say boom. Tick tick. Boom. Tick tick. Boom. Tick tick. Boom. But in case all you forgot everything I just said, let's do a recap, rap style. Isolation in communities is impunity. Why can we not all just have unity? It's a big problem that's easy to fix, like a little time bomb with a little bit of tick. Saying hi and smiling at all of your neighbours. This tiny thing gets them all in your favour. Educating kids has them be less silly, which prevents a problem like bullies. Millions of people are getting depressed. This is because their hearts are never at rest. Online profiles reconcile some clouds, smiles, World Neighbours Day on the 29th of May. Has block parties to build bonds with friends. You never know, they could tie loose ends. Speaking of ends, my rap is finished, like how isolation will be diminished. Thank you. Thank you for listening to my speech.